Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Wadle here, coming at you with another video on Supervive. Today we're going to be making a tier list on what I think the best hunters for these public matches are going to be in this upcoming Supervive playtest. But first and foremost, if you guys don't have access yet, use the referral link down below in the description to get instant access to the game. There's also a link to the Discord down below. You can actually join the Supervive Discord, look for a group, find some people, play with some friends, you know how it be. And yeah, well, let's dive right into this. So first and foremost, we're gonna be starting off with Bishop here. Now, I removed D tier and add S plus, and that's solely because I don't think any character is actually below average, or below D tier. I don't think any character is D tier, if that makes sense. I think every character has its own right, but starting off, I think personally, Bishop is an A tier. Now, this is because I think Bishop has the capabilities of providing really good utility in a team fight. Also, Bishop has the ability to, punch a wisp and turn him into a death box. And that's huge. That's a huge mechanic to have, because even Brall has that mechanic, but Bishop also has it. So it's like, it's really strong overall, and it just provides a lot of good utility. Bishop also, with this upcoming patch, is going to be super strong with like the terrain changes and being able to lob more bombs over terrain, be able to punch people in the more terrain. So I think overall, Bishop didn't really even need any changes. So this just overall buffed Bishop. Before last time, Bishop would probably have been in B tier, but now I'm definitely pushing Bishop up to the A tier. Coming up next, we have Brall. Now, I did put an S plus tier. I am gonna put Brall S tier. I think Brall has knocked down a peg. I think with the recent nerfs to Brall, it's a really good step in the right direction to bring Brall to this balanced state. Now, some could argue that Brall is high A tier. I am going to leave Brall low S just because there's that possible off chance that Brall is still really strong, and Brall provides so much for the team overall. I mean, even with the new terrain, like I said, more tether ability, more ability to kite around walls and like dodge certain abilities. It's just super strong for him. Though I do think with the R&B nerfs and the dash nerf, it's really going to hit Brall players a lot this test. So knocking him down that peg is really good overall for the general populace of the player base. Now that we got those out of the way, we have Celeste. Ooh, where do we think we're putting Celeste? S plus tier. As Celeste will never again, this is the problem I've said. I think Void this patch will be able to challenge Celeste a little bit more, but I still think Celeste is really strong. The powers that got removed don't really change much. I mean, with Purify, yeah, it might be nice for the Celeste ult to be able to purify that, but in reality, I think that Celeste is just super strong and will always be this great controller in a squad setting. Now, in duos, no, but a duos is a different tier list, and if you guys want to see a duos tier list, let me know. I'm more than happy to make one myself, so let me know. But Celeste, personally, I think she has this overarching sense that she really provides a lot of spacing for teams, and this provides a lot of ability to move around in a team fight and diverse the field and split it up. There's a lot of times where I've had a Celeste on my team, they ult and the enemy team doesn't know how to necessarily react correctly, or it's so sudden that they freak out and they split, and that split provides me, a Shiv player, the ability to go off and kill a couple because my teammate just provided me with the best control they could ever have. And I think Celeste, until she is challenged by another character or by another hunter, will be an S plus tier character regardless. And I don't think it's inherently her kit's overpowered. I just think that her style is overpowered because there's no other style to challenge it right now. But moving along, we have Elluna. Now, this is tough because I want to say B tier, but I think Elluna is going to be low A. And now I only say this... No, in the comparison of other characters, I'm going to put Elluna B. I think Elluna is B tier. Now, why do I think Elluna is B tier? Personally, with the slow added to the backpack, which was questionable change regardless with some of the other buffs that came through. I think that Elluna kind of loses a lot of power that she originally had. A 20% movement speed nerf, yeah, while it's not necessary, it may not sound like a lot or may not even feel like a lot, it's just the other characters being brought up kind of put Elluna back down. And with a lot of people getting better at the game and realizing that when there's an Elluna on the enemy team, you just have to stomp the wisps that are nearby. It's becoming a lot more apparent that Elluna is going to start falling down the ladder. Now, Elluna is a great character. Elluna is very strong. Elluna has a lot of good utility and provides a lot to the team with the root, the heal, the ultimate, even the backpack. The LMB is what the LMB is, but it just overall is becoming to realize Elluna is one of those basic characters that will in my opinion, fall into the shadow and be a very niche, one tricky type of character. Now, hopefully, Elluna still stays relevant through all that, but only time can actually tell if she can stay on top of the ladder. Now, Felix. I've been trying to think how I'd want to put this guy on the tier list, because I don't personally it's tough because when looking at some of the nerfs that came through and some of the buffs that came through, unironically, Felix is getting put into a good spot. Felix definitely gets to shoot up the ladder. I'm going to say I still think Brall is going to be slightly better. Now, this might be a challenged opinion, all right? I may get challenged. There may be a flag on the field, Someone may throw a red flag on the field. That's okay. But I personally believe that even with the Brall nerfs, Felix will still be below him slightly, and he should be. Now, I feel like this one will be questioned a lot. Now, why would I put Felix below Brall? Well, here's the thing. Brall still has the ability to box somebody. Yes, he has to be empowered, but why is a Brall fighting without being empowered in the first place? You know what I mean? Why are you not empowering off of minions? Why aren't you empowering off of vaults? Why aren't you trying to empower yourself before you get into a fight? You know what I mean? Even then, why not just be like, hey guys, let me empower up before we fight? You know what I mean? There's only a very few circumstances where you're forced to fight without being empowered. From what I saw last test, and I could be wrong, that it just puts it to me that the box thing, while being empowered to be able to do it, just prevents him from initially being able to just jump in on you and do it, but it's still there. It's still prevalent. The dash nerf kind of just seems almost like a fake nerf in a sense. It's almost like one of those where it's oh, I dare you to take level 3 dash, because no, you're still going to take level 3 R&B. And while the R&B doesn't dash you as far, it's still probably going to dash you a decent distance. So overall, I think the Brall nerfs just bring him down to a more calmer level, but I still believe Brall will do much better than Felix, not Phoenix, based upon the nerfs. Now, Felix is still super strong. I think Felix has great utility with R&B, with R&B poke, with LMB hold. You have the anti-heal on the spin. You have the ultimate that lets you go Tokyo Drift style and puts down a rumble alt field and slows the hell out of them, burning them. I think that Felix still provides a lot and is really strong, but I still will firmly stand behind Brall being slightly above him this patch. Though, Felix could take over that spot. We'll see how my tier list feels after this test. Now, Ghost. I'm going to put Ghost up here. No. Listen, hear me out. New terrain changes. Ghost got a spot dodge buff to his dash, and he was just good last patch too. Just not a lot of people played him. So it's if you really look at it, Ghost is just getting more and more love. I think I think the real problem behind Ghost isn't the fact that people don't want to play him. I just think this is a personal opinion. I don't like the look of Ghost. I think Ghost, back when it was Assault, there was an image. If I can find it, I'll plop it up here on the screen. There was a really cool time when he looked sick and I personally miss that model. This one is cool. I think it has a good direction. I think it could like look cool, but you know, is it the right direction? Who knows? I think the Ghost though is overall really strong. You know, couple buffs coming through with the I think it's the laser and the spot dodge, getting a little bit of a buff to it. I think the spot dodge is a decent buff to it. I think Lemur said on the Kaiju Power that the door would kill me 50% more of the time, and I said, okay, we'll see, whatever. No. I think that the Ghost will be really strong this patch. I think there's a lot of things that are going in Ghost's favor, and Ghost doesn't really have CC besides maybe like hitting a wall nade into another wall to stun him, but like I think in reality like Purify doesn't really affect this guy's kit versus like everyone else's kit right now that's on the board gets affected by Purify in some fashion, so well, only time could tell. Now Gunner, okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me just put it here. I don't know if he's actually in or not. I think they said he was in. I think Gunner is the lowest on the board. Now, why would I think Gunner is the lowest on the board? I think that Gunner is still a work in progress kit. I like the direction of a Bastion style character that just kind of stands still and holds L and B and does a lot of like just tries like, you know, like aim and burst you down with like this like tinky gun. But I think in the grand scheme of the threes, like, you know, like there's like a 360 turn direction and you kind of slow down and like you have to look all 360 directions versus something like Overwatch where maybe you didn't have to look all 360. Again, I didn't play a lot of Overwatch, so I wouldn't personally be able to fully talk on this, but I think Gunner just needs a little bit more love, needs a little more time. The utility is cool. I think the utility could use a little bit of work. Barbed wire was really cool back in the day. I think like a slow field is a lot cooler than like a ground field, maybe like a slow field that like you throw out and even goes over the abyss, you know, and like it doesn't necessarily do tick damage to you, but it just like as you like are over it, you're slowed maybe. I don't know. There could be cool direction with Gunner, and I think Gunner can move up the ladder with like, you know, with one or two more different abilities in the kit overall. Now, our girl Joule. This is a wild card. Okay, I should have made a wild card section because, to be honest, Joule is either going to be here, or it could be here. I'm going to put Joule here. And the reason I'm going to put Joule here is because who knows how this character is actually going to play out. This hunter could play out so many different ways this upcoming test that we've never seen before. You know, the dash changes came through that we wanted. The dash nerfs came through. The R&B nerfs came through. But the ult still has that high play potential. So, depending on what squad you're playing into, if you're playing in the right squad, this could be an insane test for Joule. Joule could, like, provide a lot of burst damage to the entire team. If your team plays around setting up Joule for the kills, I mean, it's GG. You know what I mean? Like, that ultimate being able to come out of the sky, land on somebody with, you know, let's say 4 stacks of your passive, and then everybody within the ult range, like the big ult range, gets applied with it too, because the electrical field, like she goes dash, dash, dash. Like imagine her go ching, 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 ching. Like imagine it, dude. Like it would be so crazy, so crazy. Moving along, we have Kingpin, the guy with the big hook. You know him. I mean, I think A tier. I think he deserves to be like right above Bishop, and that's because I think Bishop's utility is more frontline, like in your face utility, where Kingpin's can be both. He could be that frontline utility, but he can also be that backline pull someone in, you know. And now he has like a now he has a free ability to like eliminate a Brall from the enemy team. He can just grab somebody, hook them, and pull them into the abyss. Now, if you can purify the hook, here. And that's because I just think, like, that just removes his ability. I don't think you should be able to purify the hook. I think a grab should be something that you can't, like, necessarily purify. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you should be able to. I mean, it's a good argument. It's a good debate. It's good something to talk about. But I think that Kingpin will be, again, really just strong for the team overall. Myth. I have to look back at these because I think it's a myth adjustment. I don't think it's a myth nerf or buff. I think it was like myths. Yeah, so the execution damage got removed, right? On the, okay. But the LMB got better. So, I mean, like, I think Myth is just overall good. I think she's strong. I'd put her up here. I think the thing about Myth, the reason why I put Myth so high is because Myth has a lot of utility and a lot of, just a lot of Myth's kit is just good. You know what I mean? Like, Myth has all good abilities, and if the LMB feels better, I mean, like, her entire kit's good. Like, I've said this, I've played Myth. I love the RMB. I love the Rain of Arrows. I love the ultimate, and I love the dash. I love the passive. I just didn't like the LMB. But if the LMB is better, then, like, you know what I mean? Like, if the LMB has a cool little mini game to it, then yeah, Myth has definitely moved up the ladder. I think Myth will be a really good like a pub stomp like character. We'll be able to do a lot with the new terrain. We'll be able to like do a lot of poking, do a lot of like, you know, over the wall shit. So, and I think with some of the new powers, like Myth really, like Myth's Rain of Arrows, like you can't purify it. Like I think a lot of people are gonna make the mistake where they purify while in it, you know, and then they get reapplied with the anti-heal. So I think there's gonna be a lot of mistakes coming out from players with purify that Myth is actually able to punish a lot of it, you know. Because, like, if we look at, like, for example, Felix, like, Felix will apply the anti-heal, and then Felix has nothing else to, like, mess with you if you purify. Kingpin, as long as you're not able to purify the hook, if you purify the stun, you're safe. You purify punch, you're fine. You purify root, you're fine. Now, Brall has tether, but you can just take the anti-heal, wait for the stun, and then, you know, you can purify the stun. Joule, it's like, I think the R&B into the wall, purify, and then Celeste ultimate, you can purify that. So, I mean, with Myth, there's a couple more things in the kit that just allow you to overall play through the new powers and play through a lot of the new stuff. So, moving along, we have Oath, the big mighty man with the hammer. Where would I put Oath? Right. Where would I put Oath? I think with the nerfs that came through, I think Oath is going to feel a lot stronger. Though it's hard to say that he's still going to be above Brall. You know what I mean? Like, I think Oath is really good at, like, providing team utility and, I'm trying to think. I think Oath will be right here. And now here's the reason why. I think Oath is still super duper, like, good. But I think in the sense that Brall is still gonna be good, in my opinion. Like, this is just my take. Obviously, pre-patch thing, so we'll find out. I think, yeah, I'm going to put Oath right there. And now, again, like, opinions will change. Like, I will probably remake a tier list at the end of this whole thing. And my opinions will completely change. But this is what I'm thinking beforehand. Okay. So, yeah. Oath, we're going to leave Oath right there, right behind Brall for now. Again, like, we're going to do a whole one after the whole thing anyways. So, yeah, we're going to leave him there. Again, for pub stomping purposes, I think with the Brall nerfs and Shiv getting, like, a bug fix slight nerf, I still see Shiv being a powerhouse. Now, it's hard. I think with terrain, Shiv's dagger gets kind of buff. But I don't know if Shiv passes Myth. I'm going to say Shiv is still above Myth. I think Shiv still has a lot of, capabilities to be really strong. And I will have to put Shiv higher up on the leaderboard still. Though I do think that after this test, she could be a little bit weaker. It just all depends. With some of the new items, too, I mean, she just kind of, like, floats towards the top. I think some of the powers that are coming out, like, Purify is pretty good for her. Like, Touch of Speed is pretty good for her. Like, you know, run through an ally, dagger up, and then, like, you have some movement speed or, like, healing, you know, that kind of thing. So, really good. Shiv will be pretty strong this upcoming test, in my opinion. Moving along, we have Shrike. I think Shrike is just good in general. I think she's, like, right about here. She's just a decent character and provides a lot for the team. with Bird Bomb, Vision, and being able to like to hit, do a lot of damage. So it's like, yeah, I would say Shrike is just like that middle ground, really good character. Nothing much to it. Void got a recent buff. I think the slow ground field provides a lot for Void. I still think though, the problem is Purify's not in the game, and there's still a couple characters that just outbeat Void. I think Void does come up the ladder a little bit though, and actually starts to surpass Elluna, though I don't know how crazy it's actually going to be. I think the speed up on the teleport's nice, but I think overall Void's still going to be lower down there, and I think these will just slowly start to bring Void up. Like, Void was, like, deep in the abyss. Like, Void was down here, and now Void just kind of, like, did this. And then Void gets another buff, Void's going to do this, and then Void gets one more buff, Void will do this. You know what I mean? Like, I think right now this is where I'd put Void. 2 patches from now, I think Void will be sitting up here. Hopefully. Thanos. Okay. So we have a new character in the game. His name is Thanos, but a lot of people refer to him as Zeph in game. I will be referring to this guy as Thanos. Zeph, I am shooting up the ladder because Zeph was already good last test. Zeph now has goes turbo. Zeph is so good now. Zeph is like, I don't know how to describe it, but I think Zeph will be the hunter of the test. I think Zeph is going to be so strong, super good, and just provide so much for the team, provide so much for yourself. And like, the only thing that's changed, like nerf-wise, is like the R doesn't do, like, does 50% effective healing against you, which is fine because healers healing themselves like already are probably should do like 50%, besides maybe Oath, because Oath's heal is like more like a shield heal, you know. So I don't know. Zeph just went crazy, and it's gonna be a crazy test for Zeph. And last but not least, we have the one, the only Stalker. I think Stalker's executes really strong and combos really well with a lot of characters, but I think Stalker, in the sense of like pub, be like maybe like right here. If Stalker's there, who knows? It's tough to tell, but maybe here. I mean, I'm just gonna put Stalker here. I think Stalker's gonna be good. I think if these two aren't enabled, so if these two aren't here, you know, if these two are gone, not in the test, this is where I would see the top half. But if they are in the test, this is how I see it. But who knows? Who knows what will happen? Yes, I do think Elluna is probably bottom tier this time around. I think a lot of other characters have a lot of strong suit to them, and they provide a lot more right now than Elluna actually can. This is just a personal opinion. Feel free to challenge it down in the comments. I think this is what the test is going to look like coming up. It probably looks different than others, but I mean, like, this is just different reasoning and different logic behind it. I am a Shiv one trick, so I do see the game in a different perspective and a different light than other people. Again, if you guys don't have access to the game, use that referral link down below. Feel free to try the game out, get your friends into it, you know, have a good time, play that. Also join the Supervive Discord. If you join the Supervive Discord, you have a chance to find some people you want to play with permanently, you know. You got people for perma-test again, so that'd be super exciting. Again, it's your boy Wadle. I signing up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to y'all later.